update his Skype, and most likely Breakman to update his Skype as well. So we might be just a couple of minutes late. No problem there. We're gonna have a good show for you all today. Yeah, lots of stuff to talk about. Not a lot of news, which is good, but we got some interesting stuff nonetheless to talk with all of you about. Only person in chat right now is Skinny Seahorse. What's up, Skinny Seahorse? I think Eric's in there, but he's working on getting his Skype updated. If you guys are interested, if you're listening out there and you want to join the show live, we're live every Friday, 7 Eastern time. Most of you guys are probably, and gals, are out there watching movies or doing something other than listening to the show. But if you ever want to join us live, that would be great. We have a lively Twitch chat room. I also pull up the YouTube chat as well, so if you want to join us there, you're more than welcome to. A lot more people in the Twitch chat than there is the YouTube chat, so if you want to interact with quite a few more people, then the Twitch chat is the way to go. Just search RPGrinders on Twitch or on YouTube, and that's where you can find us. Yeah, that's exactly where you can find us. But I'm just kind of looking at the document now, and there's going to be some cool stuff. There's some reviews where I'm going to be reviewing a game called Oxenfree. I'm sure many of you have heard of that game, or may not have heard that game, but if you want to know what it's about, join us later in the show, and I'll be reviewing that. Looks like Eric has a couple of reviews, one for Tales of Vesperia. I'm going to call Eric now. What up, Eric? We're on the air, just to let you know, but you can't update it, huh?
Well, apparently I don't need to update it. That's what Microsoft Store is saying.
Okay, cool.
Which means that if it gets updated, it's probably in a Windows update.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm just trying to type Breakman now. We haven't started the show if you just joined us. Normally we start at 7 Eastern, which is about that time now, but we'll be starting the show very, very shortly. Trying to get Breakman on in here. Let's see. Hopefully he updated his Skype as well. You're right, Eric. Yours is probably just updated when you update the Windows. So Windows is funny like that.
But I have an older version, but it's probably not loud yet.
Yeah. All right.
They probably don't bother with the minutia updates.
Yeah.
Just do one big update when they do a Windows update.
Yeah, Breakman, you in?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. There was a little bit of an echo, but I think that got taken care of. Did you update your Skype by chance?
I had to go through all that shit. Let me make sure it gave me the newest version. Just double check because
double check because
as soon as I turned it on, it maybe maybe restart.
Okay, cool.
Restart tutorial. No, fuck you, no.
Yeah, let's not restart the tutorial for Skype. I think we all know how to use Skype, man.
Yeah, no Skype. Fuck you, Skype.
You gotta love that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Hold on a moment.
All right, we're holding. While we're holding, little preview of the show. Might as well. Little bit of news, not a lot, which is cool. Some new PS Plus games coming that are fairly exciting, I guess, and a whole bunch of nonsense and shenanigans. So that's how we roll. That's how we roll on the show, Eric. We just spew out nonsense left and right. Breakman, you doing all right? Oh shit, I forgot something here. God damn it. All right. Well, while Breakman is working on his stuff, he's just checking to make sure he's got the latest Skype, because Skype is funny like that. If everybody isn't updated, it can cause major issues, and I don't want to have any major issues during the show. We always do anyways, but try to mitigate that as much as possible. The only person in chat right now looks like a skinny seahorse. There's probably somebody else in there. Just, I don't know, for whatever reason, my YouTube chat, my Twitch chat, doesn't show me everybody that's in there all the time. So if you're in there, give us a shout in the chat, and I will be sure to
not kill you.
Kill you.
What was the question? I'm sorry. What was going on?
How's your Skype, man? Is it good to go?
It seems fine.
Okay, cool.
It's still a hater, but it seems fine.
Yeah, I mean, it hates us for sure. That's no doubt about that. So okay. I think I'm ready to roll. If you guys are ready to roll.
Yeah, let me get in chat, even though there's nobody there.
Skinny Seahorse is in there. Never says anything in chat, but Skinny Seahorse, well, I see you there.
Just waiting for us to say the wrong thing, and then we're just gonna jump out. Busted!
Oh, Bernie's in chat. What's up, Bernie? Even though you're right here. Hi, Bernie.
Hi.
Oh, man.
What if Bernie was Skinny Seahorse the entire time?
What if Bernie was the Skinny Seahorse the entire... I bet you that's what it is. I bet you Bernie is Skinny Seahorse. That's what it is. Let's see. But yes, I see you in there, Eric. All right, I'm ready to go. If you guys, you ready? Breakman, the man that is Breakman. Breakman's probably getting a beer. I bet you Breakman's getting a beer. What you want to bet, Eric? Any bets?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Or it's a dog cat.
No, I've actually been sitting here this right the whole fucking time, but whatever this Skype update is.
What?
Fuck!
Scoop update.
I don't care what their goddamn name is. I'm pissed right now.
Scoop update. Oh, do you have to redo it?
Hang up on me and call me back.
Okay.
Like, what the fuck, Skype?
I'll call you right back. Or when should I call you? Like right away or what?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, hang on. Remove. Boom. He is removed from the call. You're still there, though, right, Eric?
Yeah.
If you're just joining the show, we haven't started the show proper yet. It looks like Breakman's having some issues, but we'll try to add him back here. All right, we got you back, Break.
I don't know why.
Can you hear me?
I don't know why I have to ping people before they're allowed to call me back, though. It's weird.
I don't know what that's all about either, Eric. But we got Breakman, so that's good. That's a good thing.
And you can hear me, right?
And we can hear you, clear as day. Clear as day.
Good.
Let me see if anybody else.
That was really pissing me off because I bet he got a beer. I bet he's getting a beer. I know he's getting a beer. I'm sitting there. No, I'm right here. God damn it.
We were betting on whether or not you got a beer or not. That's
No, like I was just sitting here this whole time. Just you asked me like you ready to go, and I'm like, yep.
Yeah, and nothing. Nothing.
Wait, why aren't you talking to me?
All right, guys. Well, here we go. Let's get this party started. Get this on the road here. Hang on 1 second here. Boom.
Skype.
Yeah, Skype. Welcome, everybody, to a low-energy episode of RPGrinders, episode 525. I'm your host, Frank Branches, alongside my trusty cohorts, Eric the Great, Breakman the Bold. Gentlemen, how are you? I didn't even get a chance to ask you guys how you were doing before the show. Breakman, how you doing, man? How was your week? Sorta? Kinda?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, that's because Skype is a son of a bitch.
Skype is a son of a bitch.
you can hear me now because they're being nice, but before they were not.
Yeah, I know. You've had a little
Skyper Bowl.
Skyper Bowl. There you go. Yeah, big game
There's
coming this weekend.
Yearly football related anything from me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, Break and I could talk a little football later. Maybe we'll get to that.
Super Bowl.
Are we even allowed to...
The Super Lee Bowl.
Yeah, are we even allowed to say that? Like, I know if you're on YouTube,
yes, people are allowed to talk about it. Is so confused about it. It's a simple rule. If you were a company, like say you're no, listen, let me talk, man. Let me finish. If you're like a company like say Pizza Hut or something, you can't say like this is the home of the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you were say like us and we're just talking about the Super Bowl, we can say Super Bowl.
See, because I see Domino's ads and they say game days. Like, why are they afraid to say Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Like Walmart, because they'll get charged basically because they're in a sense promoting it and they're profiting off of the name. We're not profiting off of the name, so.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we have the biggest company of all, the RPGrinders LLC. You know,
they should have renamed the Super Bowl this year to the Stanley Bowl because it is the Super Bowl Lee.
Yeah. I don't understand all that confusion either, but it's sort of like I see Wyland's in chat. What's up, Wyland? Nice to see you in chat there. Like Namco, anytime I play a Namco Bandai video, like we get flagged for copyright infringement. I'm like, what the fuck? All I'm doing is playing a goddamn video from YouTube.
You need to play a really old Bamco game. Like new ones, they block this content and stuff when you're on PlayStation. So that's
I don't understand. It's the dumbest thing. Like and you know what? I fought it.
Because game publishers are pieces of shit who want all the monies.
Well, there's
and they want all the control.
They want all the RPGrinders millions. I know that's what it is, Eric. But you know, I mean, seriously, they can share a little bit of that.
Those sons of bitches.
Yeah, exactly. They're after They're after our ends, man. Yeah, they're after our ends. I mean, quit messing with.
We'll just do what every other rich person does and take it overseas.
Yeah, exactly.
Put it in our Swiss accounts.
That's right. Goddamn right. Everybody else does it. I mean, is Deutsche Bank available? Shit. Wyland says
for us they are.
Yeah. Wyland says I got most of the second pressings of the MK1 and 2 OST vinyls today. That is super cool. That's really cool, Wyland.
Where did you get a turntable? How much was it? Expensive?
You know, my mom just got a turntable, and they're not that expensive. I mean, you can buy one fairly cheap. I think like $30-$40 you can get one of those.
Yeah, but it's like a good one.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, it's not going to be the greatest quality, but you know, whatever. Also, been laughing at how much of a putz Ian Miles Chung is.
Yeah, he's a red pillared idiot. That's the best way I could put to him.
Who is that?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I followed him for a while on Twitter, and then he progressively got more and more stupid, and that's why I stopped following him.
Yeah, well.
But I do that every day. But
yeah, but we don't.
What do you mean? Like, who is this guy? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's I guess he's a games journalist of a sort. But
I actually think I've heard that name before. I don't know. Maybe I've crossed paths with him before.
He's basically on the side of Gamergate now, and other stupid plebeian idiot tier thought processes.
So like 90% of gamerdom. I mean that's par for the course. So whatever. All right, let's you know what? Let's do this.
I think he'd be Darkside Phillip. Darkside Phillip are actually competent.
RPG news. All right, Eric. Let's get started with news. We can talk idiots.
Oh, that's dirty.
What?
This dude tried swatting his ex-business partner.
Wow. That's
fucking that's dirty.
That's the first truly awful thing I've actually heard about him. So yeah, he's garbage.
Yeah.
Like people have legitimately died from swatting. Like oh my god.
Yeah.
Like who would think that's a good idea to send armed men to somebody's house?
Yeah, I don't know.
And not just like any armed men. Like let's take the police's elite force and send them to somebody's house. You know that will end fine.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of that,
it'll just scare them a little. No, there's no way nobody's gonna die. Like what the.
Well, wrong with look. Speaking of that stuff, like I'm gonna bring up a stinko later. It's gonna contrast the way that people are treated in this country when it comes to being arrested. And Breakman, you might know what I'm talking about. It's slightly political. But it's a broader discussion when it comes to the arrest of people. So let's table that for now. Eric, let's get started with the news and let's get this show on the road.
Okay, from RPG site, we've got a news article for Persona Q2 New Cinema Labyrinth is coming west and on June 4th, and unfortunately it's only going to be Japanese audio only, because why should Atlas give a fuck about putting money into a game on a platform that's pretty much dead?
Yeah.
They literally have no excuse. They have the money to spend, and the only people that play this game probably prefer it in English.
Yeah.
Atlas just gets fucky when it comes to like the end of a console's life.
Yeah, well, I mean, they might be rightfully skittish, Eric, because like when it does come to the end of a cycle, you never know. I mean,
I wonder if that was cheaper than the second option of them as a consolation prize, offering the LE with a plush of Koromaru, the dog from Persona 3.
Yeah.
Which we're gonna get into here. The standard version will be $40, but if you pay $70, you'll get the special edition, which includes the 5-inch Koromaru toy.
Yeah.
The art book, which who knows how big that actually is.
Yeah.
4 buttons, one for each protagonist. So this is an upgrade from stickers.
Yeah, I guess.
But playing cards featuring characters from each game, so you can play poker. Yay.
That's a cool, nice little touch, I guess. A deck of playing cards is actually pretty fun.
Is it? Let me ask though. Is it just like they put the label on the back of the cards, or did they actually go in and make these like? Oh,
the characters from the game are on the back.
Yeah.
No, I meant they're on the fronts too. That's awesome. Okay, they did a good job then.
Yeah, it looks okay.
It seemed like everybody's bought like a deck of playing cards. It's like, ooh, this one's Star Wars, and you open it up, and it's just like a regular playing card on the side and on the back.
The only thing Star Wars is
character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Breakman. I hate when they do that, but these look fairly decent, both double-sided playing cards. So that's kind of cool. I do appreciate that type of detail.
I approve of that pack-in.
Yeah.
Usually we get the crappy pins or something.
Yeah.
Deck of playing cards like that. That's different.
Well, they have pins as well, but throw in the cards, and I guess that's.
Well, why'd you have to run it for them?
Well, no, they're not just pins; they're buttons.
Yeah. Let's see. Wyland in chat says, in happier news, once Zavi goes live with their variant, I'll have all of the MK OST variants. So, it must be nice, Wyland, to have the big bucks like you. And I mean, Wyland gets all the cool stuff. Like, I'd like a tour, Wyland. Like, you need to take a video tour of your place with all your statues and your OSTs and all your stuff that I want and can't have. Son of a bitch.
I might actually get the premium edition just for the plushie.
Yeah, the plushie does look cool. I was gonna say that plushie is pretty tempting, man. Like, I don't know. Bernie and I are planning on getting like a tiny house. Space is gonna be a premium in that deal, man. That's I
gotta say, like, this is one of the better packages we've seen.
It does look good. I'm looking at it. I'm actually.
Are you gonna get one of those like Japanese tiny houses that are like a single room?
No. We need a little more room than that. We'll probably get.
Oh, you're not. How about one of those tiny houses?
That's what we're doing.
God.
Yeah, no, but the problem with the tiny house
is gonna be a bouncy tiny house, though.
A bouncy tiny.
Problem. There's a lot of problems with tiny houses.
Well, no, there's not very many, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's no storage space for one thing.
Well, we don't need a lot of storage, man. I mean, that is a problem if you have a ton of shit. I don't have a ton of shit.
You can just keep all your stuff at your parents' house.
Hell no, man. I want all my stuff with me, man. No. You can always get a shed house for your extra shit, but I don't have a lot of stuff, man. I have a 50-inch TV, which I'm gonna probably put on a wall somewhere in that tiny house. We got a couple of shelves like for our Funko stuff, and that's about it, man. And clothes, as long as we have a closet, a bed, and maybe a place for someone else to stay.
So basically, it's a ranch apartment, but it's an actual house.
Yeah, it's not very many square feet. I'd like to get one about 300 square feet, 250 to 300 square feet, which is enough for a decent sized kitchen. And I don't need tons of space. It's not like I'm the biggest person in the world, and neither is Bernie. Bernie's a mini person, so it's not like we don't need a lot of room to sprawl out or anything. Oh, and she wants a bathtub, but I don't know if that's going to happen in a tiny house. We'll see what happens. I'm actually thinking of getting a container and just making a house out of one of those storage containers, those big ass storage containers. I don't know. We'll see. I need money first. I'm waiting for a check, and then once I get that check, that's what's gonna happen. But let's see. I'm looking at Wyland. Blah blah blah. Okay. Next story break, man.
Okay, coming to us live from RPG site. Darksiders War Mastered Edition heading to Nintendo Switch. It looks like I'm gonna skip ahead because that's about what I just said. First fucking paragraph. Trailer was spotted and re-uploaded by Vooks, which I like their name, which we've included below. Vooks, hi Vooks. Trailer does not give any detail about release information, pricing, or date. Update. we have pricing and a date. THQ Nordic has confirmed Darksiders War Mastered Edition for Nintendo Switch. It will release on April 2nd for £25.99, €29.99 or $29.99 American dollars.
What's the exchange rate on euros?
It doesn't say what it would cost in Canada, but I'm guessing
not sure,
$27.99.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm not sure, but maybe. I need to relook at this, but I think Darksiders 2 is already on the Switch, so they just decided to do this.
It's
weird though, because 3 is a game that wouldn't run on the Switch very well.
Yeah, I need to get. I bought these games, but I bought them under a different. There was a short period of time when I didn't have PlayStation Plus, so I had to use different account. You know how that trick that you do to get 2 days of PS Plus in order to get deals and stuff. Well, my PlayStation took a dump one time, and of course all those accounts took a dump too. So these were a couple of games, the Darksiders and Darksiders 2, that I need to re-get again. They're good games. They're solid Zelda.
Oh no,
Zelda type
Darksiders
games.
2 is not on the Switch yet, so I wonder if they'll do that next.
Yeah, probably. I mean, any way to get mo money. Speaking of mo money. Announcement trailer for Dragon Ball game Project Z set to release in 2019 for the PlayStation 4.
Not the actual name.
Yeah, Xbox One and PC. So this is the trailer that I cannot show you because Bandai Namco will fucking flag my goddamn video. And even though
this almost seems like a resurrection of the planned Dragon Ball RPG that was going to release on the GameCube.
Yeah.
But they eventually turned into Dragon Ball Sagas, and that was a terrible action RPG.
Yeah.
That was also a beat 'em up.
Yeah. Trailer doesn't give a clear indication of what type of RPG gameplay we might expect in Project Z. However, the trailer does show that the game runs on Unreal Engine 4 and involves the development team at CyberConnect 2, known for the Naruto Ninja Storm series and the Dot Hack franchise. That's actually encouraging, I guess. It also shows the early arcs of the Dragon Ball Z anime, the Scion and Frieza saga. So there's a trailer which I will not show.
It's Frieza.
Oh, Frieza.
No, I want to keep.
Also, that's the incorrect spelling of Frieza, by the way.
Yeah.
That's the dub spelling that they fucked up.
Yeah, that shows you how much I know about Dragon Ball, to be honest with you. Yeah, Frieza, whatever. So there you go. I can't show you guys the trailer. If you're in chat, I'm sure Wyland is crying right now, and I'm sure the archive...
Almost as bad as Vegito spelled with an I.
Yeah.
Not 2 T's and an O.
Yeah.
And an E.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you guys think of that? An RPG which we have no idea what type of RPG it's going to be.
It says action RPG.
Yeah, it says action, but not in the story. It says the trailer doesn't give us an indication of what type of RPG it is. So, there you go. All right, Eric. Next story.
So we have no idea if this game is going to be good or bad.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z games have been all over the place.
Yeah, there's
well, it's CyberConnect 2, so quality is probably assured.
Yeah, that's what I said. The quality might be fairly good. Yeah, see, Wyland says Dragon Ball's a foreign language to me. It's a foreign language to me, too. I know nothing about it, so whatever. Moving on. Eric, next story, please.
Oh, you mean you haven't gone to the theater and seen Dragon Ball Super Broly yet?
No, I have. I definitely have not.
Well, you're disowned. We can't speak to you anymore, right, Eric?
You know what? This is going to probably not shock a lot of people. I have never seen one episode of Dragon Ball. Not one. And you know what's funny? I love Toriyama's artwork. I've seen plenty of Dragon Ball Z artwork that I love.
His artwork was what got me into Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I love it.
Playing back in the old Dragon Warrior days.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love Toriyama's artwork, but and I've yet to see one episode of Dragon Ball Z.
You should probably read Dr. Slump. You might like it.
Yeah, maybe. What is that?
It is the very first successful manga run that he did before he did Dragon Ball. It's the manga that he earned his fortune on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Eric.
Is that the one that they did a crossover event with?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a slapstick comedy manga.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, that's what Dragon Ball was supposed to be. Dragon Ball was supposed to be more of a comedy than an action.
Yeah.
Like it really changed Dragon Ball Z.
And then they made it a fighting manga.
Yeah. All right, Eric. Next story, please.
Yume Nikki Dream Diary brings the psychological horror to Switch in Japan on February 21st. I imagine this is going to be localized since it's already on Steam.
Yeah. I think we have talked about Yume Nikki before, Eric.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So it's basically a reimagining of the original Japanese indie game, which is it says it's a puzzle platformer, but it's more like it's a
visual novel, maybe
a puzzle adventure.
Oh, a puzzle adventure.
Kind of like Corpse Party.
Ooh, I like it already. Then probably.
But it wasn't as macabre as Corpse Party though. But this one's more on the darker side than the original, I think. The original was both just dark and weird and mysterious. Yeah. I mean, there were bad things that happened in that game, but it wasn't nearly as grotesque as Corpse Party stuff is.
Corpse Party, from what I played, is super dark and like, you know, I mean, you use your imagination more than anything, but some of that stuff is pretty graphic, man. And you know, I like stuff like that. Like Break and I always talk, and you too, Eric, about like more adult themed type games, and I'm not talking just sex. I'm talking about like adult-oriented themes of games, and that's
it doesn't have to be sex and nudity or violence to be adult, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But I wish more games like that would kind of take over. You know what I mean? All right, Break. What do we got next? Speaking of darkness.
Coming to us live from the Darkness Channel. Coming to us live from Silicon Air. A murder detective, Jack the Ripper by NIS, heads to PS4 and Switch in Japan on April 25th. Oh, okay. Yeah. Murder detective Jack the Ripper is a visual novel that diverges between a detective route and a murderer route, meaning that you'll get to make choices that lead to one or the other. Ooh. Yeah. So you get to be the protagonist, and you get to decide if you're Jack the Ripper or not, basically.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot.
You get to be the good guy, or you get to be the hero of the story or the villain. I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
So April 25th for PS4 and the Switch in Japan.
Speaking of the darkness, have you guys ever heard this song? Come on, sing along, guys. I know you can sing it.
I don't even know that song.
It's a great song, man. People made fun of the Darkness. It's a band called the Darkness. They're kind of a modern band. They're broken up now, but they took a lot from like 80s hair bands and like Queen and you know, Led Zeppelin and, you know, a lot of influence like that, and made their own band, and this is what they produced. Touching me. That voice, though.
I think they're making fun of the fact that like they're called the Darkness, but they're definitely not. They're not. I mean, that's more of a metal name.
Yeah. Wyland in chat is bragging that he needs to do his second run in RE2. How dare you, sir? I wished I had that game, man. That game is getting fucking wicked.
I wish I had time to play it.
Yeah.
I don't own it, but like I'm just kind of waiting for my brother to like get tuckered out of it and then borrow it from him.
Yeah.
I'll buy it later when like I have money.
I have a question for you. The demo doesn't work anymore, right? It was just for that weekend, right? When it came out.
I was only under the assumption that it will work as long as you don't play it.
Oh yeah. See, I haven't played it yet. I'm wondering if it'll still work. Yeah, time is always the issue, Wyland, always. So, you know. All right, let's move on to maybe more darkness. Moero Chronicle Hyper is leaving Japan in spring 2019. That's a weird way of phrasing that. It comes to us from Siliconera. The Nintendo Switch...
It's the Hyper version.
Why do they say leaving? Like, do they mean like just like going to other places or what?
Yeah.
Dungeon Buster's in chat. What's up, Dungeon Buster? He says RE2 remake is good stuff.
Also, yeah. I was under the impression the game was 60 FPS, but that's not always the case, especially on a base 4. It's actually hovers between like 45 to 60, depending on where you are in the game.
You know, I'll settle for 45. I mean, at this point.
But yeah, 45 is visually more pleasing than 30.
Yeah, I like I said. I mean, I think I've given up my stance on 60 frames. Nobody seems to be able to do it.
Although, based on the the Digital Foundry video, they were kind of wishing the game were just a lock 30 because of some of the other issues that crop up because of that.
Yeah,
like screen tearing and the fact that like visual consistency isn't the same because they decided to go with the uncapped frame rate.
I'll never understand why they can't just fucking get 60 frames. We got the tech. The tech is there. Like, I heard every excuse in the book, like before. Oh, the tech's not there. They just can't do it for whatever reason.
The tech isn't there because they haven't figured it out.
Well,
obviously,
some people have.
These companies aren't incompetent. They have to decide what's more important.
I remember
what they should focus on.
Eric, I saw a video. I think it was Doom. Doom is pretty fucking close.
Yeah, but
dude.
Doom's also not as graphically demanding as Resident Evil is, despite its age.
Those guys have an engine that they could work with, that they could make it happen, man. I don't know, man. But anyways, let's read the rest of this Moero Chronicle Hyper story.
Also, they're using a new engine. It's not the Framework NT. It's kind of like the successor Framework NT, so it's got kinks to work out.
So we're never gonna get 60 frames, is what you're saying, Eric, and they should stop like getting us hyped for that. Then, even with the PS5 and the next Xbox and everything, I don't want to ever hear anybody saying they're trying to get 60 frames per second because none of the motherfuckers are. I'm tired of hearing it. Like, I really am. Fucking Dreamcast people were fucking doing it back in the day, 60 frames per second, and we can't get anybody to do that shit nowadays. It's depressing. It sucks. It's stupid.
Blame the hardware developers that always want to push the graphical envelope.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, drop the fucking graphics a little bit. I mean, we're at the point where graphics don't even fucking matter anymore. I mean, the graphics are so fucking... They're so good in games.
The only thing you can really do now with better graphics engines is put more stuff on screen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, do we really
I don't care about realistic water effects in my game, Activision.
Well, I mean, I like them, but I mean, shit, drop them a little bit. I mean, nobody's gonna fucking notice that shit. I mean, seriously. I mean, frames per second is gonna be like that should be priority number one for everybody, and then maybe graphics and anything after that, and story and gameplay and a bunch of other things, but whatever, this is me ranting about shit. So let's just finish this Moero Chronicles story. It's an updated version. It's already available on PCs. It first appeared on the PlayStation Vita in Japan and Asia. I think that's about it.
An incredible fan service dungeon crawler game.
Yeah, players follow alongside a young man who works with monster girls to find out why other monster girls are becoming hostile and save the world. Nintendo Switch version has all the event CGs and art. makes use of the HD Rumble for a bumping scratch session, whatever that is, and has new ways to boost party member stats with items and offers an autopilot function for more efficient dungeon crawling. So you can just basically let this game play for itself, I guess. This is my type of game, Breakman. There you go. When I
game that plays itself, just sit back and watch, maybe take a nap or something.
Exactly. I mean, I was playing like what was it, God of War, and I was like so frustrated at certain points, like with the bosses and stuff. I'm like, man, an autopilot button right here would be pretty fucking cool, especially that last boss I had a problem with, man, that Valkyrie.
I probably would have quit after a certain point. Like, you stayed on that for a long time. Like, at a certain point I've been like, you know what, I'm just gonna go watch the video on YouTube. Screw this shit.
I had to put it down a couple of times, Breakman. I'm not gonna lie, man. Yeah. I went back to it.
Yeah, sometimes that helps too. Like, putting it down for a little bit and come back so you kind of get a little bit refreshed.
Yeah.
But you still have the muscle memory of playing the game.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you can't like leave it for any length of time before you go back.
Right.
Because
you can't like go for a year and then come back and expect to get right back into it.
Right. But exactly right.
If you do for like a week or something, you should be absolutely fine.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but I did like an alcoholic and you completely forgotten what you did the last week.
I'm actually really happy I got the platinum on God of War, man. I thought I would never beat that fucking boss. That was the last piece of the puzzle in that game, but I fucking did it. All right, last story, Eric.
Story is about a Chrono Cross concert.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yesterday in Matsuda to celebrate Chrono Cross's 20th anniversary with a live concert tour in November. The full title of the concert is Chrono Cross 20th Anniversary Live Tour 2019 Radical Dreamers.
Yeah.
Yasunori Matsuda and Millennial Fair. That's a mouthful.
Yeah. I like how Japanese titles are basically a paragraph anymore.
No,
they just seem like they're getting longer and longer.
No. The longest titles and the most ridiculous titles are those that show up in light novels.
Yeah, they're gonna need a novel just to give you the title to a novel. Breakman, right. You know what I'm saying? But this is cool. I wished sometimes I wished I lived in Japan just for these type of events, man. Maybe I'll get a tiny house in Japan. What about that, man? That'd be cool. Get away from the U.S.
Anyways, it's starting at the Toyosu pit in Tokyo, and on November 3rd, followed by the Nambahatch in Osaka, and the Nagoya Diamond Hall in Aichi Prefecture, and on November 17th.
Yeah, here's a question for you guys. Like, I don't know if you go to a lot of concerts, Breakman, but you've been to concerts, right, Breakman? What about you, Eric? You guys been to concerts?
I've never been to a concert ever.
No, seriously?
Yeah, seriously,
really?
I'm asking.
No? What? Why are you asking this stuff?
I'm asking because would you rather go to the opening show of a tour or the end show, the last show?
I guess the opening show.
More energy, maybe, type thing? Or?
No, like, I'm thinking by the last show they might be phoning it in a little bit.
That's true, too, like, thinking...
But they're like, it's almost over, I can go home, I can sleep in my own bed, you know, that kind of thing.
You know what?
Like, I prefer to see, like, one in the middle somewhere, you know? There you're probably getting their best performance.
Yeah, probably, man. I've been to several Metallica concerts, and I think I agree with you, Break. I like the beginning shows rather than towards the end, because it does seem like they're kind of getting ready to get done with it and go home. You know, I can imagine being on the road for that.
I can't blame them either. Like, touring has to be a bitch.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they get paid lots.
That reminds me of the scene in Earthbound where the Runaway Five do their last show because you got them out of a crooked contract that kept them there for years. And like they played this song, and like as soon as they were at the final note, they just went up and left.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about it, and I was at a concert, obviously here in Denver with Metallica when I don't know if you guys remember, Metallica, the lead singer, got burned. It was kind of a big deal. I don't know if you guys know when that happened, but it was, you know, many years back. He got burned, and the first show that he did back was here in Denver, and it was pretty cool. He couldn't play guitar right then because he was still basically a burn victim, but he did a pretty good job, man. He kicked ass. But anyways, let's move on to some homie discounts.
I don't think so. Homie, don't play that.
All right, we got tons of homie discounts this week. Eric, you put in a couple of links. The PS Plus titles this week are pretty fucking interesting, I think. I believe this is the last month for PS3 offerings, if I'm not
PS3
mistaken.
And Vita.
Yeah. So we're getting some cross-buy titles, a bunch of stuff. Also in the update, the PlayStation update, we're getting, instead of 10 gigabytes of cloud save storage, we're getting 100 gigabyte, which has got to tell you something about the PlayStation 5 more than anything. But let's see, Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, is going to be the PS3 offering, I believe. What else here? We got Dive Kick.
I might get it just for that, so I don't have to put my disc in every time I want to play it, which is not often because that wasn't the best Metal Gear game ever.
No, but it was decent. It was pretty good. Gunhouse. Let's see. Dive Kick. Rogue Aces. Let's see. And then there's... I forgot the PS4 offerings. For Honor is one of the big ones, and then Hitman: The Complete First Season, which is a pretty fantastic game. I played the first episode because they always give you that first episode for free, but they're giving you the whole game on PlayStation Plus. So that's an exciting title for sure. So yeah, the Vita games I mentioned were Rogue Aces and Dive Kick. So those are the...
Anybody want to buy me a PS Plus 12-month subscription?
yeah, join the club, Eric. I mean, even though I'm good till 2020, but yeah, there you go. So it's a pretty solid lineup this week or this month for PlayStation Plus. I know people were super upset last month when they gave us Steep, and I can't remember what the other game was. Steep was actually pretty decent. I played a little bit of Steep. It's it's just one of those snowboarding kind of SSX type games. Yeah,
like it definitely sounds like that.
But it's more realistic than that. The mountains are gorgeous. There's a few things you can do. You can ski. Obviously, you can snowboard, and you can even do one of those, like if you have one of those gliding suits where you can glide down the mountain, in the air. It's actually pretty fun. It's I
have a hard time enjoying those games. All the snow, I'm just
sick of the snow. I was talking to Bernie about that, man. I'm kind of sick of the snow.
Even summertime, I'm like, I don't want to see snow.
We here in Denver, we totally missed the polar vortex, man. We were like 40 and 50 degrees here when you guys were somewhere.
Would it being just stupidly cold be part of the polar vortex?
Yes, that's yeah, absolutely.
Because it wasn't snowing or anything here, but it was like 6 below yesterday morning.
Yeah, we were in the polar vortex. That's why.
Yes, you guys were right smack. That I was kind of worried about you guys. I tweeted out to you guys because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But
I would have responded, but I was dead.
Yeah, I would have responded, but I was totally freezing in midair.
I wanted to do my laundry over the week before yesterday, but my mom was like, "No, it's too cold."
Oh dear Lord. All right, so over on the
I could suffer driving all the way over there.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to being... I used to live in my parents' basement.
Yeah.
when I was a teenager, and sometime after I graduated.
Yeah. There's an $11 discount on Kingdom Hearts 3, so if you're looking to pick that up, that's actually a pretty good deal. The game just came out, so to get that discount's pretty great. You're going to pay $48.99 on the Xbox One or the PS4. For some reason, the download is a little more expensive at $55.79, so you're not saving a ton if you want to go the download route like I always do now. Unless I get an insane sale. Nintendo.
Well, I took advantage of Amazon's pricing here and got it for $40.
Yeah, that's really good, man. That's a good deal.
That was back in 2015.
Jesus.
When we didn't know when the game was going to come out.
Yeah. All right, Nintendo does have a nifty NISA sale. Concept Revolt is $20.99. Disgaea 1 Complete, you're getting a $10 discount there for $39.99. Disgaea 5 Complete for $29.99. Ease 8, Lacrimosa of Dana is down to $41.99. Labyrinth of Refrain is down to $39.99. So this is actually a really good sale for our audience who loves all that stuff, RPGs. There's a lot of good stuff there. There's a bunch of indie games. I saw Octodad for $4.99. Human Fall Flat for $7.49. So I don't know, this is actually a better deal than Nintendo's been having for a long time, even though it's not the greatest of things.
I'll give you a deal. Does anybody want to buy my physical copy of Final Fantasy X-10-2 HD for PS4?
Ooh, if you would have caught me a couple months ago, I might have taken you up on that. But no, for me, no. That's a no. I have it. I bought it digitally.
I'll take your copy of your PS4.
Nice
I don't
try.
have a copy of the PS4. I just have a PS4.
Oh, I'll just take the original then. That's fine.
You'll just take the original. Yeah, I'm sure you will, man. Hello Neighbor is down to $19.99. If you want that piece of junk, feel free. But there you go. Those are your homie discounts for the week. All right, let's move on.
You're talking about that game.
What's it? Hello Neighbor?
Yeah.
It's
Did you
junk.
review that or something?
It's junk, dude. I've seen plenty of
I've
videos.
heard nothing but bad things about it.
Yeah,
I thought you just watched video of it. Okay, I thought you played it and reviewed it.
No, I didn't. I was really
this.
interested because I like horror type games, and that one definitely fits the mold. But I saw too much on it to be shied away from it big time. So moving on to.
No, I'm not saying it looked fun because it didn't look.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, Breakman. All right, Twitter comments, Breakman. Do we have anything on the whole Twitter?
No, I didn't see anything earlier. Let me double check right now.
Okay.
Let me see. There's your post saying that we're online. Nope, that's it.
That's it. Okay, just me. That's great. That is fantastic.
Oh, you know what? I take it back because I completely forgot.
Yes.
I completely forgot. I am sorry. I completely forgot about this. Freak did send us something he thought you'd be happy to know about. I think Frank Branch's new tweet of the week is going to be this. The Cash Me Outside girl is getting her own Snapchat reality show.
Oh, dear Lord.
Called Bringing Up Bobby. Bobby.
Isn't like Barbie?
Right, but with instead of an R and H, so it's...
so it's Ebonics.
You know, one of us...
I don't know.
I'm not saying me, but one of us needs to come up with a stupid catchphrase and go on the Dr. Phil show and make a gazillion dollars with a stupid Snapchat reality show or game like the Kardashians. Maybe we can.
Part of the thing is she's a girl too.
Well, I know.
She's flaunted she's young, but she's got a big chest.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, for her age, she has a big breast, and she advertises it, and that's why she's so famous. Not just her Catch Me Outside thing.
Breakman?
But this girl has needed help, and instead of help, all she's been is enabled.
Yep.
She is going to be one troubled adult, and she's going to be on the news all the time with her antics and stuff. She's going to be the next Lindsay Lohan type.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a few other users in the chat room. Another TV viewer is in there, so join the club. Yeah. We all watch the old.
I hate talking about a teenage girl in that way because she was only 13 when she started doing this shit.
How old is she now, man?
She was well endowed for a girl her age, and she flaunted it. She's still flaunting it.
I never even knew that, man. How old is she now? Fucking 15, 16?
15.
Probably,
Jesus.
15.
Apricot Droopfruit, I love that name, is in there. Commander Root, of course, is in there. Mentioned Wyland's in there, and Dungeon. Positivity Bot, and of course, Skinny Seahorse is in there. So thank you guys for joining the chat. Hope you're having a decent time at it. All right, let's move on to, if it ever plays here.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Inquiring minds want to know what you've been playing, Breakman.
Me, I've been playing nothing new. South Park game, on which they've added a team battle system, which is interesting. We can, as a team, vote on what cards we want to use, and then play that team against other teams.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
It's still just one-on-one battles. So
yeah.
They haven't changed it fundamentally at all.
Yeah. All right.
And then and then Mass Effect. I'm kind of in that relationship conundrum, and I'm waiting. speaking to characters at this point.
Yeah.
Because like I know the one character's gonna throw herself at me as soon as I talk to her, but every time I get on the ship, they're like, "PB wants to talk to you," and then a second later, I'm in there. I'm in the same room I'm always in. I'm like, god damn it!
Like throwing herself at you.
I know, like I was trying to get with this other chick, and I just don't think she's.
Is this like Mass Effect Love Boat or something?
The Love Boat. That's it. Does it really matter who you get with in that game? Break like.
Since there's not gonna be a sequel, I guess really not. But if there's gonna be a sequel, your relationships carry over and such.
Oh,
I hope
do.
There's no space racist like Ashley was in the first game, who I always killed because she's a space racist.
Yeah. See, this is what they need to play for that game. I like how, like, I'm looking at the video of this. I know you guys can't see it on screen, but or in chat, but like all the old '80s people that were on that show. Dick Shawn was one of them. Bobby Short.
That show had so many guests.
Yeah,
so many guests.
We're expecting you. That that '70s voice. Robert Vaughn was in it. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of that nonsense, man. Nobody cares about Love Boat nowadays, except for us old fogies.
We didn't care about it then. I was too young. I was too young to care about it then.
Me too.
How dare you guys? Love Boat was the best, man. You guys should watch it.
Shows my mom would watch, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
You guys.
I was in kindergarten. I probably didn't care about Love Boat.
You guys should just watch this show just for the song, man. Listen to this greatness.
How many years did that run?
Not very long. Look at that song though.
It would have been in syndication by the time I.
I need to redo this metal style. The Love Boat. Do one of those type of deals.
They've tried bringing that show back before too, and failed.
I can't see it for a modern audience, but back in the day,
bring it back as a horror movie.
Well, you know what? You say that, but they're bringing back Fantasy Island as a horror movie. You guys know that?
Seriously?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, they tried bringing it back before, and that did not go over well.
Oh yeah, I remember that redo. That was not done. But yeah, they're redoing Fantasy Island. It's crazy, like, to think, but look, this. You guys remember that? You don't remember that, Eric?
No.
But I'm sure Breakman does, maybe. Fantasy Island.
If it's past 87, I probably didn't remember.
Yeah, you fucking young.
Fantasy Island was okay. Anyway, it was one of those shows I'd not really paying attention.
You know what was good about Fantasy? You know what was good about Fantasy Island? Was fucking Ricardo Montalban, man. That guy, like, I mean, he did obviously Wrath of Khan, and that's where everybody kind of remembers him, but that guy was a really solid, good actor. Like, he was good, man. He deserved better than Fantasy Island and, just the one role, but trying to get to this. Yeah, I think that's all. It doesn't even have any lyrics, but Fantasy Island, man, yeah. God damn, I'm so dated when it comes to these fucking shows, man.
Frank Egg Grandpa.
How dare you, Eric? Back in my day, anyways. All right, Eric, what have you been playing, man?
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn, Eric. God damn it. What have you been playing, man?
Just some more London Detective Mysteria and Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition.
Yeah, not heavy on the games this week.
I played a couple other games, but like only for a handful of minutes, just to check them out, and like 2 games that still have an embargo, but I don't know why, considering their ports.
Yeah, well, gotta go with the rules, Eric. You don't want to piss anybody off.
The ports of an indie game, not even a AAA game.
Oh, Jesus, man. Seriously. All right, well, that's fine.
I mean, the embargo lifts like Tuesday, but it's like, why?
Yeah. Looks like Dungeon's been playing Kingdom Hearts 3. I saw Dungeon playing Kingdom. I've made a remark to Bernie. I was like, I know that son of a bitch is going to be playing Kingdom Hearts 3. Yep, sure enough, fucking Dungeon Buster playing KH3. And Resident Evil 2 And the Anthem demo, you son of a bitch.
I do appreciate Kingdom Hearts 3 having a mini game that is basically bust a move.
Wyland says, wait, Fantasy Island was drawn on the walls of the pyramids? How fucking dare you, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, the storyboard is on.
You know, Wyland is like he's like so unassuming. Like he comes into chat and stuff, and he's like, oh, look at what I got. I got this $200 statue, and then oh, look at this. I got the MK OSTs. Oh, look at this statue I got for $250. It was only $250. Like that's.
I wish I had Wyland's job because I would have the money to buy all that shit.
I think what it is like that's what Wyland spends his money on, like video games and like video game related things like statues and stuff. That's what it is. Son of a bitch, Wyland. Fucking walls of the pyramids. How dare you? All right. Let's see. I've been playing MPQ. I played Oxenfree, which I will give a review for here in a few, and I really like Oxenfree, man. It's a good game, and I started playing Heavy Rain again. I know that's going to induce groans from Eric, but I wanted to revisit that game and see if it was as good as what I remember it to be, and it probably not is the answer to that. The controls are whack in Heavy Rain, man. You have to hold the button, hold the R2 button, and then you could walk around, which is ridiculous. I can't remember a game that I had to do that with.
Don't forget in Become Human where you have to press a bunch of buttons to do very menial things.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do that in Heavy Rain too, man. Like you have to hold.
Yeah, but I think they cranked it up to 11 with that game though.
Yeah. I don't know. I never played Become Human. It looks interesting. I mean, I wouldn't mind playing that game. I'm not going to pay full price for it, but it's not something that I would, based on Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. I'm not going to pay full price for those games. Like, I'll just wait. They always go down in price, but so I remember Heavy Rain being actually worse. I think they redid it with the remaster for the PS4. Or the whatever remaster they did, the remapping of the buttons and stuff, because I remember getting cramps in my hand back in the day on the PS3 playing Heavy Rain because the amount of button presses that you had to do at the same time to do certain things. And I think they redid it a little bit, although it's still a little, I don't know. The control scheme is, to me, just totally wacky from what I remember.
Well, even if he doesn't, he probably has still more disposable income than I do.
Yeah. Wyland's getting all hurt. He says, I actually don't spend money that often. I make sure I have enough money to buy what I want later on. Yeah, I know.
The arcade
ooh, he's gonna buy that MK. Ooh, yeah. Those are cool. They're small though.
Aren't those basically like the circuit boards of the arcade machine stuffed in a tiny little cabinet?
Yeah, I was gonna say those 1-up arcades are really cool. They're very nostalgic, but they are a tad small. You do kind of have to hunch over to play.
Like a $200 something or something.
Yeah, if you got one, you might have to get like. Sometimes, like, you get those washer and dryers that you have to put on stands and stuff, like to make them, stand up a little bit more. And I think that's what you'd have to do with one of those. If I get a tiny house, there ain't no way I'm buying one of those cabinets, though, man. As cool as they look, I'm not gonna do that. He said he's adding
a raspberry.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
You can put more arcade games on it.
Yeah, that's actually a really cool idie, Wyland.
That sounds pretty good. Like, does it just have to be raspberry? Can you have other berries in there too? Maybe some blueberry.
Blueberry pie.
Blueberry raspberry. Maybe some straw. No, I don't. You should mix all those.
Yeah, no. But yeah, the raspberry for sure, man. Raspberry's so good, that flavor. All right.
Schnozberry.
The schnozberries have schnozberries. Yeah. I love
blackberry.
Blackberry. Oh yeah, blackberry. Why not a blackberry pie? How about that, Wyland? Why does it have to be raspberry? Why can't it be blackberry? Why can't it be whiteberry pie? How about that? Anyways,
do those exist?
I don't know. I'm just fucking with you, man. All right, here. Let's move on to
RPGrinders reviews.
We got some reviews. I mentioned Oxenfree. Eric, I'm going to go ahead and do mine first.
My Stinko needs to be re-aced. That's from last week.
Well, you go do that while I do a review for Oxenfree. Oxenfree is it's like kind of a point-and-click adventure type game, but it's kind of a coming-of-age teen, really weird X-File vibe type game. Like, I don't know if it's aliens or monsters or ghosts or any combination of the three, but you basically walk around in this town trying to figure out the mystery of what's going on. You're there as kind of a last hurrah with your friends, and a lot of weird shit ensues, man. I don't even know what I played, to be honest with you, but I know I like it. It's a laid-back style of gameplay. It's not very intensive when it comes to what you have to do, but I don't know, it's a pretty good game, and I would suggest anybody that likes those point and click type adventures to give it a go, especially if you like the X-Files. It's got kind of that vibe. The voice acting is actually really solid in it. I didn't hate any of the kids, which usually when I see a movie or a video game based on like teen angst type shit, there's always like more than a few characters that I just don't care for, and I really didn't not care about any of them. So it's a pretty good game. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. I highly recommend when Breakman finally gets his PS4 to play it, or maybe you can play it on the Xbox. I don't know if they have it on the Xbox.
I have it on the Switch.
Or you can get a Switch and play it on the Switch. But I highly recommend people play the game. It's
I got it like when it was like super duper cheap. It's like $5 or something.
Yeah, I did as well on the PlayStation Store sale, and it was worth every bit of that $5, man. There's lots to do. It's about an 8-hour adventure type game. 6 to 8 hours would take you to play that game. So it's worth $5 for sure. Let's see. I have all.
I'm one of those people that likes to take their time. This would probably take me like 20 hours.
No, trust me, Break. I'm the same way. Like if a RPG says it takes 20 hours, it's gonna take me an easy 60 to 80 hours because that's how
right.
I am. But
gotta grind, but not only that, you gotta walk around, talk to people.
Yeah.
Gotta get enough money to buy that next weapon. You can't do this until you got that money.
Yep, you gotta grind. I mean, I'm there's a reason why this podcast is called RPGrinders, because that's, I mean, that's what I do, man. I sit there and grind until I get that ultimate weapon or, armor set or.
That's why I love RPGs. When I was a kid and just completely sucked at every game, RPGs were always that one game where it's like, oh, I can keep getting stronger and stronger, and finally I can accomplish it.
Yep, and then you just beat the boss and super ease. Yeah, that's the way I love to play games, man. That's why there's always going to be a place for me with traditional, turn-based RPGs, because. That's, I'm getting older for one, and for two, that's what I'm used to. But, so I give Oxenfree a big thumbs up. It's not a very long game, but you wouldn't expect that from this type of game. But for, if you're paying anywhere between $5 and $10, I give it a high recommend. Especially if you like X-Files type stories. It's definitely got that in spades. So,
stories.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Eric, you have some reviews.
Xbox is out there.
Yeah, Xbox. All right, Eric, your reviews.
Did you say the Xbox is out there? Okay. I got reviews. I got two. First one's Glass.
Uh-oh, no spoilers, please.
Yeah, no spoilers.
It was something.
It's not getting good reviews at all.
No.
I could see flashes of brilliance, but that's all they were. I mean, he looked like he was building up to something, but given how badly it's done and the fact that it ended the way it did, I'm not sure that's going to happen. So he built up to nothing, really.
Oh, that sucks. I did hear that criticism, like it was a big build-up for not a lot of payoff, but hopefully there'll be a third part, man. I mean, it's doing...
I think what they should have done is they should have flipped the other two movies on their heads and have one of the plot points at the end be the actual twist.
Yeah, Yeah. I did, like I said, I did hear kind of the same things what you're saying, Eric, but maybe they'll come out with another one.
The first half of the movie feels like completely disjointed, because like they're swapping between different characters' perspectives without any like forewarning or any real significance. Like scenes that were there that didn't need to be there because they didn't contribute to the overall plot that much.
Yeah, Wyland's a walking museum. Breakman. I'm just looking at chat. All right, so what are you giving Glass, Eric?
I'm giving it a 5.5.
Yeah, slightly above average. Okay, that's not exactly a ringing endorsement, but it's not exactly a total gut job on it. So that seems fair. That's about what I've seen online and otherwise. So
at some points, like the 5s and the 5.5s aren't as enjoyable as say a 1, because a 1 is just so fucking bad. It's like a wonder it was even made, and it's like you watch it like you watch a car accident.
Like the Transformers The Last Night. That's what we gave it, a 1.
It's like this is so terrible. I put you put your hands over your face, but you look between your fingers. Like I can't stop watching this. Why?
You know what?
I can't believe this is happening. This is terrible.
That reminds me of a movie. Geostorm. We talk about it from time to time. That's definitely a 1 movie that's so bad, like it's a big train wreck, but you can't help but watch that train wreck. Wyland says, I thought that was you, Frank. I think you have a few thousand more miles on you than me. Yeah, probably, Wyland. That's probably true, but man, you have you and your fucking statues, man. I'm so envious every time I see Wyland's Twitter account or something else. I'm like, because he always gets like these cool ass fucking Mortal Kombat statues and like Street Fighter shit and whatever else the horror stuff especially, man. I'm super jealous of that shit. I think he had like
the only reason I saw Glass is because I need to kill time before I watch the next movie I have to review.
Did you sneak into the next movie? That's what I would have done.
No, I paid for that one. I paid $21 to see 2 movies because they charge like $9 fucking on a weekday for an adult.
That's why like you have to do what at least what I've heard
and
people do.
And this other one was like $11 because it was a special event, and special event movies get a premium price.
Yeah.
No,
but I mean,
you gotta shave and like make your voice a little bit higher and pretend you're like 15.
Yeah, you can try that.
What's the kid discount here?
No, I heard.
Hi, mister. What are you? Is there a kid discount?
What if it's a rated
R-rated movie, mister?
That's what I was gonna say. What if it's a rated R movie, man?
Anyways, I'm kind of cheating because like I still have to do the ABCs of film before like the end of next month, and I'm having trouble finding like movies with like Z and X and stuff in them. But
Zoolander.
I could do Zoolander, but then the question was, what about a Y movie and a W movie?
You could definitely find a Y.
Or a U movie. I mean, I'm thinking Underworld for you, but
yeah, there you go. I like the first Underworld. So you can do no worse. I mean, you could do worse than Kate Beckinsale.
But anyways, I'm kind of cheating because like the localized name in this movie is starts with an A, but I don't count like prepositional phrases like A, but so it would be silent voice, a silent voice. But I'm going by his Japanese name, Koi no Kitachi. So that's my K movie.
There you go.
And technically, Koi no Kitachi translates to a shape of voice, which doesn't sound really good in English, so they renamed it to a silent voice.
Ah, got you. It's like Shape of Water. Like that doesn't. I'm sure that doesn't translate very well in Japanese.
Or either that, or they were thinking we don't want to confuse people who saw A Shape of Water. So.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Koi no Kitachi, Eric.
This is a movie that is an anime adaptation of the manga. Like it's a 6-part manga series, I think. There's like 6 volumes you can buy, which like total $50 if you want to buy the whole set. Normally they're $15 each, so that's actually a good deal. Yeah. But anyways, it's the redemption story of bully, who back in elementary school bullied this girl who entered the new classmate who entered their classroom, and she was actually deaf, and he made fun of her being deaf, and the fact that he couldn't understand her, and being a kid and not understanding like things about like sensitivity and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But then like it fast forwards to like 5 years later, and he's in high school, and there was an incident like that preceded his bullying, where the teacher found out, and basically all the kids in the classroom exposed him for being the bully, and he started. Well, it's not like he was wrong, but like the other kids like basically got in on the bullying by like either not doing anything, running away, or saying things behind her back. But I mean, they basically all turned on each other, and they stopped being friends, and he basically destroyed all his relationships. So he basically became a withdrawn person in high school, and he contemplates killing himself, but he doesn't, and because he wanted to do some things like, I guess, bury the hatchet between and try to apologize for her before he would off himself. But
yeah, plus the movie would end. Like, you know.
Yeah, the movie would just end right there. So yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, he tries to become a better person through his interactions with this girl. Like now, 5 years later, and they slowly start to form a relationship, and they still have to deal with all their problems and the baggage that they left behind in the past. And it's a really good movie. And for the English dub, which is how I had to see this movie, because it was the only one that was showing, and I'm glad I did, because like apparently the Japanese release does not have a deaf person doing the role of Shoko, who's the girl in the movie, which is kind of a missed opportunity, which is something they capitalized on in the English dub. Like the only criticism I can level against the English dub screening or any screening of this movie is that they didn't have a closed caption permanent subtitles. Which is like it's a movie about a deaf girl, and you're not gonna include closed captions. Like, you thought the subtitles would be fine. What about all the sound effects? And this carries over to the disc release, which is like, why would you release the disc and not do this? It's like other movies have closed captioned English subtitle options, usually for the English language script, but like this is an anime, and it should be standard.
Yeah. All right. So what do you get?
Maybe if they get enough heat, they'll actually add it in, and maybe if they can't add it in because they're already pressing the disc because the movie comes out in March, maybe they can get firmware update or something. I don't know.
That seems stupid.
Yeah.
That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard, like an anime without subtitles.
Yeah. All right.
No, it has subtitles. It's just not subtitles for the closed captioned.
Well, right.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
When your character's a deaf character. Like,
yeah, that seems really, really odd.
This is like one of the stupidest things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say it's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard, not in the age of Trump.
Yeah, I was going to say, man,
it's dumb.
And another criticism I could have is that they could have dedicated a little bit more time to giving us some insight as to what his thought processes were that would lead him to do the horrible things he did to this girl.
Mm. All right,
but maybe that's what the manga does better. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, anytime there's like a long manga,
you're condensing a 6-part manga series into a 2.5-hour movie, basically.
That's what I was gonna say, man.
Yeah, those I usually don't enjoy those that much.
Yeah.
I want to see like they don't develop stories as well.
Yep.
They just don't.
So what are you giving Koe no Kitachi, Eric?
An 8.5.
All right, so decent movie. Just the main complaint is, of course, the closed captioned subtitles there. So, all right, let's move on to our. This is probably our newest segment, guys. Hi-scapade. Do either of you have a hi-scapade this week?
I, in fact, do have a hi-scapade.
All right, Breakman.
You guys are familiar with the singer Ariana Grande, right?
Yes, vaguely. I don't follow a lot of her music.
Yeah, who does? I mean, yeah. she's meh, whatever. Anyway, the actress recently had her album come out, or new singles called 7 Rings. So to celebrate that, she got a tattoo on her hand.
Oh.
Of what she thought was 7 rings.
Yeah.
Instead, she got the tattoo Japanese barbecue. Yeah.
Japanese, like a hibachi, like a kibashi thing.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me, man! I gotta see this tattoo. I'm gonna.
Oh well, it gets better because this was a few days ago. Mm-hmm. So she realized she messed up, and she went to fix it. The new tattoo. Let me see if I can find it. They screwed it up again. Where's the new? Oh, it's now called Small Charcoal Grill Finger Heart.
What? Oh dear Lord!
She got it fixed and made it worse.
Okay, so I'm showing the original here, and that's Japanese barbecue, which would have been okay, I guess. I mean, if it's on the bottom of your hand, no big deal, right? I mean, so what? But then let's see.
Stupid place to have it, a tattoo. I'd say, like, that's almost as dumb as the one I've seen where somebody has like a face of somebody else tattooed on their own face.
Like Roger Stone with Richard Nixon. Is that what you're talking about there?
No, I saw a woman with some guy's face on her or some guy's face tattooed on her cheek.
Yeah, that's never a good idea for one to put a tattoo on your face. But when you put a face of a face on a face, or a face on a face, that never works. But this is the new one. So what does the new one mean, Breakman?
Oh yeah, let me go back to it.
Sorry.
The new one means small charcoal grill finger heart.
Oh, small charcoal grill finger heart. She should just fill that all in with like a pentagram, and then that would be better. You know what I mean?
She should have quit when she was ahead. Like,
this is almost as bad as that lady that.
Yeah.
This is almost as bad as that lady that tried to restore the Mona Lisa or that picture of Jesus that one time. I forget.
Yeah.
I think those were two different people, but it's like one of those times.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, man. That's a great hi-scapade break, man. That's fucking fantastic.
Japanese barbecue.
I like I mean, that one would have been kind of cool, like a little hibachi or something,
Like you could have laughed that one off. But
yeah.
When you try and go back and fix it, you make it worse.
She should. You know what she should do? She should go back and like put a little hand next to it, so that way it's like, she could make fun of it even now. But with her luck, she'd probably go back and like do a different symbol, and it would mean like small dildo or something in Japanese, and it would be
after this mistake, like, she should swear off tattoos.
Yeah, either that or, like I said, make it into a cool pentagram or something. Then she could be like Richard Ramirez or something, then like scare people. With
I think any tattoo artist, if she shows up at their door, they should be like, no,
none of this.
no.
None of this.
I'm not risking it, lady.
Yeah,
you gotta go.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Wyland's response in chat. I asked him if he ever heard of a movie, because I mean, if anybody would hear about it, it'd be Wyland. But a movie called Silent House. The Spanish name
is that the sequel to Silent Hill?
No, I wish, man. But it's called La Casa Muda, and I can't find a copy of that anywhere. If anybody has any information of where I can find a legit, decent copy of that movie, I mean, there's one on YouTube that is terrible. I can't really make out anything in it, but if somebody knows where I could get a good copy of that, like a DVD or something, let me know.
Artifact Vision, yeah.
Yeah, it's so bad, but I really.
Oh, he's never heard of it. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it probably doesn't. He says I haven't heard of that one, but supposedly it's taken in one take. They redid it into a movie called Silent House, but that's not the one I want. Not the one with Elizabeth Olsen, but the original that's in Spanish. I really, really want that movie. Bernie has been talking about that movie for a while, so I was just wondering if anybody out there listening knows where I could get a copy of that movie. Let me know. Not in VHS. I don't have a VHS player. Came out in 2010, so it shouldn't be too hard. All right. Eric, did you have a heist-capade?
No.
All right. I do. And guys, you guys have heard of certain, like, syndromes and, like, things that people have, like, you've heard of...
Masturbate in public syndrome?
Ooh, if you have that one, man, you're in a world of hurt, man.
At least that's what the cops.
Yeah, no, have you guys ever heard of irritable leg syndrome?
Yeah, Parkinson's.
Parkinson's. It's because I never heard of it until Bernie told me about it. Like, we were walking. We do a lot of walking because I don't have a fucking car right now, which is another issue that's going to be taken care of as soon as I get my fucking check. But anyways, and she goes, I got that irritable leg syndrome. And I'm like thinking to myself, irritable leg syndrome? That sounds almost like real. Like that could be something real, but something's off. It's not irritable leg syndrome. I've heard of irritable bowel syndrome. Are you thinking of restless leg syndrome? And so we had a laugh about that, man. Irritable leg syndrome apparently is a thing according to Bernie.
So does like her leg grumble or something like a stomach?
Wyland says he knows of someone with irritable leg syndrome. DSP. No, I think you're thinking of restless leg syndrome, not irritable leg. There's no such thing as irritable leg syndrome. I just thought it was funny that Bernie mixed irritable bowel syndrome with restless leg syndrome. So, yeah, the new thing is irritable leg syndrome now.
Is the leg like really itchy or something? Maybe that's what it is.
The leg is really itchy.
No, it's like cramped.
Her leg
like
feels
crampy.
like it's got a poop.
Like her leg feels like it's got a poop, like really badly, like it's having like grumbles.
Oh God! Oh, what's wrong? Like my leg, it's gotta take a shit. It's gotta take a shit.
My leg has to. Yep, I gotta take a. My leg's gotta take a shit right now, and like pulls up.
Oh wow! It's like DSP says he got it wrong, like Bernie.
Yeah, I'm sure he's called it that. Wyland says probably, man. DSP's a mess, man. I wish he would come on the show, man. I'd love to talk to DSP about a lot of things.
Does your leg? Wait, does your leg get angry?
You know, the latest thing with DSP is now he's begging people for money, man. It was so pathetic. I saw this video. I think Wyland inspired me to go look at it. Well, let's make no mistake. DSP has made a ton of money over the years doing nothing, basically, but sitting there and, like, basically playing video games and playing them very terribly.
I mean, PewDiePie's a piece of shit, but at least he actually does something.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I was in a position that DSP was back in the day, but apparently now... I guess his Mercedes-Benz payment is a little bit too much for him because he's been begging people for money left and right, man. It's like he's got videos like that are so pathetic.
You mean he bought it, but he made payments?
Dude, don't ask me, man. Like I don't know. Like I know he was making money.
But with the money he should have had, he should have just bought it outright.
I agree. I totally agree. But now he's begging people, telling them that he can't pay his payments, and because of his fans that he doesn't have enough money to pay for his Mercedes-Benz payment and other stupid things that he buys. But
also, that's the car that you have if you're stupid rich and are planning never to really drive it anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, Wyland's corrected me. It was a BMW, and he leased it. He doesn't have it, I guess, now. Probably because he had to give it back. But, anyways, whatever.
He's driving a Toyota Civic 1992-ish.
Honda Civic 1992-ish.
Honda Civic. Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually drive that right now if I had the money, man. But yeah, He never drove it anywhere anyway. Yeah, see, he was never out of his fucking house. I don't even know why he needed a goddamn car.
Yeah, Benzes are trophy cars, like.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's move on.
Look at this is the status of my wealth.
Yeah, I know. Getting a car like that, for instance, like a Range Rover. People only buy that car for status. They don't buy it for anything else. It's not the most reliable.
Or a Hummer.
Yeah, or a Hummer. That's a good example. But anyways, let's move on to...
I can't believe I said Toyota Civic.
What is it?
Stinko of the week.
Brakeman has irritable mouth syndrome.
Yeah, irritable mouth syndrome. I think we're, I think you missed Freak 5's comment.
Oh, holy shit. He never got an oil change. Quote, the dealership never told me to do that.
You've got to be kidding, man. I need that I need to cut that as a soundbite.
Do you not have like family members, or have you never
Christ.
talked to anybody ever who's ever driven a car?
Oh, here's a good question for you guys.
I got an oil change like months after I got my car, since I don't drive it very much. I mean, my work is like 5 minutes away, and I only ever have to go to my parents' house to do laundry, which is like a 30-minute drive, so I don't drive it often.
Yeah. I mean, you should do it every 3 months, regardless of how much you drive it, because oil's just sitting there. But here's a question for you guys. I plan on getting an electric vehicle. Do you still need to do oil changes on it? Does it have oil? Like I don't know.
That's a very good question. I do not know.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm wondering.
It depends if it's a hybrid, I think.
No hybrid. I'm gonna get one of those Nissan Leafs, because I've seen them for like.
No, you don't.
Then all the better. Hardly any fucking maintenance. I'm good, man.
If it's a completely electric car, it runs on electricity. You don't have to worry about oil.
Oh, good.
You might get a lube, but that's it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course, because it's on wheels and shit. You know, you're gonna need a lube job. All right.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to Stinko's Brakeman. Your Stinko of the week.
Do I just get one? Because I got a bunch.
No, go for it, man. As many as you want.
Well, let's go with the quick and easiest ones. The polar vortex, which we've already talked about, and the sub-temperatures, the sub-zero temperatures we've dealt with.
Yeah, 20 people dead because of the sub-zero temps.
Yeah, and one of the things that happens when you get temperatures this low and the bad weather with the snow and shit like that is potholes.
Yeah.
So once again, it's my favorite sporting event. It's competitive pothole dodging every time I go to work or grocery store or anywhere else. Like,
yeah.
God,
you know why those
ridiculous.
potholes keep coming up? It's not only the bad weather, Brakeman, but it's the city. They just when they do pothole repairs, they don't do it correctly. Like my dad was in construction for years and years and years, and he always laughed at when they would fix potholes here, because they don't do it right. They, you have to kind of scrape around and scrape the asphalt off around it, and then however they do it. He explained it, and he said they just don't do it the right way. They just fill it and pack it, and then they're done. It's just a temporary fix. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a big cut or something without putting stitches. It eventually is gonna not work. So whatever. But yeah. So
anyway, back to the Stinko. So yeah, the potholes and the cold.
Yeah.
And then completely unrelated to that, this is from WDBJ. 7.com. Measles cases on the rise in the U.S.
I almost put that as my Stinko break.
Yeah.
I'm glad you.
Center for Disease Control and Prevention says the number of cases in the U.S. has nearly tripled in the last year.
Yeah. Can anybody guess why that's happening? I'm raising my hand. I can tell you why.
Go ahead, Frank.
Yep. Anti-vaccinations.
Help.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of these have been from people come from foreign countries that are infected with them because they didn't get vaccinated in their home country.
Yeah.
And these vaccines are, it's not just in America. Anyway.
Yeah, I know.
So Dr. John Bolden, a pediatrician at Lewis Gale Medical Center, said about measles, it was serious enough that we thought, okay, we need a way to stop this. So that's why the vaccines came out. with vaccinations just to see those rates drop so dramatically, and that's been a treatment. CDC also says 81 people brought measles into the U.S. from other countries last year, the greatest number of imported cases since the measles was eliminated from the U.S. in the year 2000.
Yep. Wyland said, I see the DVD, Wyland. I was just looking on...
by the way, I do have a Sweeto.
Yeah, hang on.
But we haven't got the Sweetos
we're
yet.
not to Sweetos yet. Yes, Breakman, they're... Okay, people are saying, what's the big deal, right, with this measles outbreak? For one, you just pointed it out. I thought we eliminated it, like in the year, 2000 or even earlier?
Yeah, we completely eliminated it in the year 2000.
Yeah.
They're saying this is going to be the 2019 is predicted to be the worst case of measles since 1987 or 89.
Yeah,
since the 80s.
Yeah, let me put it in perspective. In the state of Washington, there are 36 cases, and most people would say, "What's the big deal about that?" There's millions of people that live in Washington, et cetera, et cetera. The problem is, when kids get the measles, it can be deadly. All right, it's no joke. It's sort of like when an elderly person gets the flu. You're like, well, what's the big deal? It's just the flu. The big deal is the flu is pretty devastating for senior citizens, and it takes a lot for them to overcome it. I'm not saying it's impossible.
People die of the flu every year.
Yes, they die of the flu.
Old and young.
Old and young.
It's not.
Yes.
It happens every year. This isn't rocket scientists.
Yes.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
This is something that can be completely eradicated if people get.
This is something that was completely eradicated.
Yep. And can stay eradicated if you get vaccinations.
We beat this.
Yeah.
We wiped it out.
Yep.
These assholes have brought it back.
Yeah, I was talking to Bernie about this very subject, Breakman, and if you don't, like, we were talking about
Jenny McCarthy and fuck Bill Maher.
Yeah, and fuck Oprah Winfrey too, because she was a big part of that whole movement.
And Dr. Oz and other people who have brought on these anti-vaxxers, and Donald Trump himself has said stuff like that. I don't remember the name of the doctor who started it, but he was discredited, disbarred.
Yes.
Everything that he everything he wrote was burned basically from existence.
Yeah. But the deal was, you're right. It was eradicated and now it's back, and it's a super sad thing. But Bernie and I were talking about the way that it should be handled is public schools should say, except in the medical cases, there are certain medical cases where you cannot get vaccinated for certain reasons, and they're legit medical reasons, but they're few and far between. That it doesn't happen, hardly at all. But the ones that want to do it for religious purposes, or they just don't want to get their kids vaccinated for whatever reason, and they don't have a really legit reason, and they want to get an exception, the public schools should say, okay, yeah, sure, but your student, your kid will not be able to be a student at this particular school, so you might want to look into homeschooling or an alternative venue for your kid to get educated, because we want a system in place where our kids are protected and safe. And you choosing not to be vaccinated is your choice, and we wish you luck. And then on to the next person, because why do we give these people the opportunity to go and spread their potential measles to my kid who's been vaccinated, or any other kid for that matter? Like, it just makes no sense.
The kids that are vaccinated should be fine.
There
shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
I mean, that's the point. Like, they're vaccinated.
Right.
But there can be kids that haven't been vaccinated yet because they're too young.
They're too young, or maybe, like I said, there's those exceptions.
Or there's adults that haven't been vaccinated for it even,
Yes.
Especially older people.
Yep. So, I don't know. It's
I know, because the measles vaccine wasn't around when they were, young.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. You have others, Breakman?
Oh, I've got one more, and somebody mentioned it, and Eric, when you brought up Bill Maher.
Yeah. Bill Maher?
Talked about him. Bill Maher. I don't care what his fucking name is.
Yeah.
I'm really sick
Cartoon
of him.
hating Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Comic book hating Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck Bill Maher.
Remember back in November when Stan Lee died? He opened his trap about how, like, we're horrible for liking Stan Lee and comics and stuff like that. And then after, like, he was trashed by pretty much everyone, he doubled down and, he apologized to Stan Lee, but he basically said, like, it's ridiculous still, like, you're all children and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, his show had been on hiatus for a while, and it's back, and you know what? Once again, after the world has told him to shut his mouth, he's fucking opened it again. The post, let me see here. He initially made his views on his blog post, and the post was a reaction to the outpouring of appreciation for Stan Lee after the former Marvel editor passed on November 12th. A culture that thinks comic books and comic book movies are profound mediations on the human condition is a dumb fucking culture. I don't think it's a huge stretch to suggest Donald Trump could only get elected in a country that thinks comic books are important.
Oh boy.
That's what he said originally.
Yeah.
Okay, so now he has gone up and said that tonight's editorial is about Stan Lee, who, if you missed it, died in November. And a few days later, I posted a blog, which I just talked about, but took the occasion of his death to express my dismay at people who think comic books are literature and superhero movies are great cinema, and who, in general, are stuck in an everlasting childhood.
He's not wrong about the comic books not being literature. They aren't. They're entertainment.
I disagree. They're part of literature. They're not. It's sort of like the argument that people make.
Well, it depends on the comic, but I'm talking about specifically superhero comics. Yeah, that's what he's thinking. He thinks all comics are superhero comics.
Yeah,
well, even still, superhero comics can have good stories. I mean,
yeah,
I never
exactly.
said they couldn't, but like it being actual literature,
it is.
I think
it's the same argument that people make against video games being art, Eric. It's along those same vein. They can be incredibly stupid, just like movies can, but there are plenty of instances where.
It's like literature. Saying all cartoons are for kids.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
I'm not saying the content of the story can't be deep. I'm just saying, like, when you got something that's primarily dialogue based and there's only so many words you can fit in the text bubble.
Yeah.
Versus the being very having very descriptive prose in a book.
But Eric, think about it. Most comic books are ongoing series, so you're going to get as much literature if you have enough of those comics. It adds up to the same.
Okay. Now that's a good argument.
Yeah.
So.
See what I'm saying? Like it's you get the same amount, and there's prose-worthy comic books out there. I mean, I can point you to things like The Watchmen, or a lot of Alan Moore Swamp Thing stuff, or stuff like that. Like there's plenty out there, but it's besides the point. Go ahead, Break. I'm sorry.
So anyway, bragging that you're all about the Marvel Universe is like boasting your mother still pins your mittens to your sleeves. And a curious statement made during the same week that Black Panther...
Wait. That is a bad analogy, because, like, it's antiquated. No mom out there actually makes mittens anymore.
No, but he's just making the point, Eric. Like, it's his way of making the point that it's, like,
you're still a baby. You're still a mama's boy.
Yeah.
Your mama's still doing everything for you. Is what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's saying you live with your parents and your mommy babies you. So anyway, the same week that Black Panther was nominated for the Best Film of the Year by an Academy Awards, Mayer, I don't give a shitter, noted, "Can we stop pretending that writing in comic books is so good? Oh please, every superhero movie is the same thing. A person who doesn't have powers gets them, has to figure out how they work, and then has to find a glowy thing." It's kind of funny. Yeah. I'm sorry, but if you're an adult playing with superhero dolls, I'm sorry, I mean collectible action figures, why not go all the way and drive to work on a big wheels?
Oh, man.
And he wasn't done, because he actually started laying into other people too.
Yeah.
Adding his critics, Mayer singled out comic book writer and film director Kevin Smith, which pisses me off, mocking Smith's clothing as childish, while Mayer continued to assert that his anti-comics blog post after Stan Lee's death was not intended as a shot at Lee himself. Another curious statement, because he's not done He isn't.
Yeah.
Because he's not wearing a boring suit.
and after this, I'm gonna ignore everything he says. This is gonna be the last time I bring up his shit.
Yeah.
When he mocked one of the people who criticized his initial statement by the way, Kevin Smith responded like nice to him. Like he said, "Oh, you know, he's another stoner, and I respect his work and stuff like that." Like Kevin Smith was nice. So fuck this guy again. Anyway, one of the people who criticized his initial statement by saying that they had learned about social justice and racial tolerance through reading comics, he retorted, "Okay, but now you have pubic hair. Read James Baldwin, read Toni Morrison, read Michael Eric Dyson."
What if I don't want to read those? I mean, that makes no sense.
Or what if I've already read those and I still like comic books?
Yeah,
now, but he's saying now that you have pubic hair, you should not look at a comic.
That is so blinded and so jaded that it's not even.
Because I think every child should read The Watchmen.
I agree.
It's not made for 10 and under should only read The Watchmen.
Yeah, see, you make a good point right there. I mean, The Watchmen was very adult oriented. It had very adult, themes. It had very, very contemporary at the time.
A heavy metal subscription for every second grader.
Yeah.
you know heavy metal comics.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're making good points here, Break. I don't even know how to respond to Bill Maher. Like Bill Maher. The two things that Bill Maher and I agree on.
Someone should force him to play a video game.
Oh, that would blow his mind. Like he couldn't handle it, man, for sure.
No, see, he's one of those people who.
See, that's exactly what needs to happen. His mind needs to be blown, and then we'll never have to listen to him again.
Yeah.
No, see, that's the thing. He'll one of those guys.
Yeah.
He's one. Hell, that'd be funny. He's one of those guys that's. I've seen the type. Like he's as much as he hates Trump, he's kind of that way. Like he refuses to admit he's wrong. So if you force him to do something, he'll find ways to hate it.
Yeah, yeah.
And find ways to poo-poo on it for everyone, you know?
Yeah.
He's gonna, it'll be shit no matter how good it is.
Yeah. No, you're right. There's only two things that Bill Maher and I agree on. One is weed, for sure, because he's on point with that, and the other is Trump. I mean, other than that, like I don't agree with almost anything Bill Maher says, especially when it comes to alternative medicine and and now this comic book thing, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he'd be the type of guy that you could show him or you could let him read Watchmen, and you're right, Breakman, he would break down 50 million reasons why it wasn't actual good reading, when in fact I would
and he suggests also, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I've just
go right ahead.
Well, he also suggests that you shouldn't do anything that you did when you were a kid once you become adult. So like when are we supposed to like stop playing sports and stuff?
I'm pretty sure being adult just means
running
and
I agree with you on that as well, Breakman. And the best example I can give
stuff like that, like you're telling us, like, oh, well, I played basketball when I was a kid. Yeah. I guess I'm not supposed to do that as an adult, right?
I think I remember Bill Maher said he started smoking weed when he was about 15. So maybe he should stop smoking weed. I mean, that's something he did as a kid. So just stop. Just
but when you're a teenager, you're not a kid, right? Remember?
Yeah. Wyland says Billy Boy needs to do the world a favor and neck himself. Yeah. Bill Maher is a strange cat, man. He's super uber rich, so he's part of that elite group of, the 1%, basically, and he needs a reality check in some way. Dungeon says Mouse is a graphic novel by a cartoonist that told his father's story of surviving the Holocaust, casting Jews as mice and Germans as cats. I guess it doesn't matter because comics are just for kids, according to Maher. That's a great point. Mouse is a great graphic novel.
What's Maher's opinion
does
on
he think
heavy
Animal
metal?
Farm is for kids or something?
Yeah, exactly.
They're talking. It's about pigs. Obviously, this is for children.
What about Watership Down?
Have you ever seen? That's a bad argument because I read that when I was in school. Never mind.
Oh shit! Watership Down's another one. Should we not consider that literature because it was a kid's book and later on an animated movie? I mean, how does he feel about anime and cartoons? Certain
God
cartoons?
knows. I can't imagine. Like,
I'm pretty sure being...
Looney Tunes were made for adults.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Looney Tunes cartoons were made around like the World War II time, I think, when they originally came out. Before that, but
a lot of it was incredibly racist too.
Yeah, there's a lot of that too. You're right, but they were made for adults at the time. Like these were to be entertainment.
Yeah,
for I mean, not just adults, but for kids and families.
Yeah,
everything. Like suddenly, like this isn't for adults anymore, according to him. I guess
it's ridiculous. We spend enough time. What else, Break? What else you got?
No, that's enough stinkos. I'm just.
All right, Eric, do you have a stinko this week? I didn't see one on the doc. All right, I have one. I'll do it as quick as I can. Both of these ones, I have two. Okay. The first one is
sorry.
No. It's all good, man. I don't mind spending time on shit like that, Break, because it's important. Here's something else that's kind of important, man. Mitch McConnell's bitching about a national voting holiday. And to me, that is probably one of the most un-American things I've ever heard. Like we've been saying this how long, Breakman, that we need a day like this, or on the weekends where people can actually fucking vote.
They don't like the early voting. They don't like anybody having more chances to I don't understand. If you want it to be one day, then why don't you want people to be off for that day?
Yeah.
And his reasoning was that, well, obviously, if we give that off, all the leftists are going to use that to go slam the polls and stuff like that.
Why wouldn't he want that?
By your logic, then wouldn't all the rightists do that too?
Well, let's just take his logic that all the leftists are going to do that.
The logic of him doesn't exist. But go on.
No, I'm saying, like, why doesn't he want that? Like, why doesn't he want people rushing to the polls on a day that they have a chance to rush, regardless of partisan politics, whether they're right or left? Let's say they all are all left. Why does he not want that? That sounds like the most un-American thing to me of all time. Dungeon says, I heard about this national voting holiday thing, but didn't read too far into it. What's it about? It's just basically about Mitch McConnell and the Republicans not wanting to lose power, Dungeon. I mean, that's pretty much how I can sum it up best. But
I don't understand how it hurts them, is really my argument.
I don't either. I don't get it.
He's saying, like, if we give this day off, that everybody on the left, all the protesters and stuff, are going to come out in full force, and they're going to swamp the voting booths and such like that. Like,
he doesn't to me.
Like, if you're then what's stopping the people on the right from doing the same thing?
Right, and his other argument was that you'd have to give federal workers 6 days of vacation time to prepare for this, which I didn't quite understand. But I guess the way it works is that you kind of have to figure that there will be workers around the clock, like waiting for people to vote and stuff like that. So I guess it sort of made sense. But in a way, I'm like thinking if that's the price you got to pay for a really decent democracy with higher turnout at the voting polls, isn't that what you want? Isn't that what you should be fighting for?
Aren't those people volunteers?
They are. But he's saying that we'd have to get government workers to do it, which, so what? That's what we pay the government to do with our taxes. Dungeon says, but if we have a national holiday for everyone to take off and vote, like Break is saying, what is stopping everyone from any party and taking advantage of it? That's exactly right.
Exactly. That's what I don't understand. Like, this is the Republican Party.
They'll both be there.
They always argue that early voting and like this it favors the Democrats. I don't understand how. I don't understand their argument at all. It doesn't make sense. If there's early voting, it's for everybody. It's not just for people on the left. Mm-hmm. If there's a day off to vote, it's not just Democrats that are going to come out.
I guarantee if you had a national voting day,
it doesn't make any sense. The argument's dumb.
Let's say it was the 3rd November or the 3rd Monday of November, for instance, just to, pull a date out of, my ass. Wouldn't that
I mean, it's almost as if he'd rather have a state where nobody gets to vote, and he gets to keep all the people that he still has already.
Oh, you mean like gerrymandering, like they always fucking do in almost every goddamn state? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. No, what I'm saying is, let's say you have that day, right? Like a Thanksgiving is what, the third Thursday of November or whatever. Why not have it like the first or second? That's too close to Christmas. What about like the first, like the fourth Monday of October, let's say, and we have a national voting day. What would be the problem with that? Like you said, it's equal for everybody. Everybody's got the day off if they choose to vote. Now you got the time to do it. Now nobody can bitch about not voting because you have the day off. You know what I mean? If you don't do it, it's on you. But now as it stands, if you take the time off at work, even though they're supposed to legally let you do it, what fucking corporation looks kindly on people that take that day off for voting? None is the answer. They don't like it. They don't like for you to vote, and that's why the Republicans are up in arms, and especially that fucking turtle in the Senate, man. It's ridiculous. But anyways, so I think we're all in agreement. National Voting Day.
Mitch McTurtle.
Mitch McTurtle, yeah, exactly. We mentioned
it. It's such a weak argument to me. Like, you're saying that if you have the day off, that only one party is going to come out.
Yeah,
why?
It makes no sense.
That doesn't make any sense. That defies logic.
Yeah, it makes no sense, man. No sense whatsoever. All right.
Like, especially in this country, we see when one party comes out, the other party comes out, and then there's violence and shit. Like it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest,
sometimes I mean, when there's violence, we hear.
Yeah, about that. It's a lot less than other countries. That's for sure, man. We have more protests than anything, which I think
they make it seem like like the violence happens a lot more in America than it does, as far as like violent protests.
Right. It actually happens a lot more on the right if you look at the statistics. Most of the terrorism that's caused in this country is from the radical right. As weird as that sounds, man, but that's just the way that it is. The facts are facts, The second thing I wanted to bring up, guys, real quickly is the difference in the way people are arrested. And I bring this up because there's been a national uproar over the way that Roger Stone was treated when he was arrested. And
you're talking about Lindsey Graham, huh?
Lindsey Graham, Donald Trump, a lot of the right is kind of getting behind.
Like, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, okay,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, go
ahead. They
actually
actually do have a point, because when I was looking at the footage of him being arrested, there were no less than, I counted, I think it was 12 or 16 people that were there, and I think it was kind of unnecessary. But here's the point I'm trying to make. That's beyond the point I'm trying to make, and I'm kind of glad it's in the national spotlight now. When Eric Garner was getting arrested.
Yes, this is what I was thinking the entire time I was reading shit like this.
Right.
Go on.
This is what irritates me. All right. Eric Garner was going to be arrested for selling a fucking cigarette, which has virtually no impact on anybody whatsoever. Right. Roger Stone. His lying to Congress has impact on a lot, and it could be even more. We don't know the extent to which his fucking lies run, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty extensive, and it affects the entire country, right? So you have a difference here. You have Roger Stone, all right, a white, older guy who was, maybe treated
rich,
super uber rich, no question about that. But maybe was treated kind of unfairly by having that many people. I doubt very seriously he was as big as a flight risk as what everybody says he was, but you never know.
I don't.
You never know.
Doubt that. I bet
you
he
never
was
know.
A flight risk.
Right? You never know. I'm just calling things how they are. Break.
Okay.
But I don't.
I mean, we do the show because we disagree and stuff.
Right. But and you know what? Maybe he was a flight risk, and maybe it was necessary to bring maybe like 3 or 4, maybe a couple of people in the back, maybe a couple people in the front.
Right. And there's no denying they made a show of it.
They made a total complete show of it. There were like at least 12 people that I counted. I've heard estimates upwards of 16 to 20 people for one person, one elderly person, which I'm pretty sure 4 cops could have handled. I mean, you have 2 in the back, 2 in the front. That's plenty of backup for one person. So the point I'm trying to make is Eric Garner didn't get a chance to be arrested.
Right.
He was choked out and killed. So the difference between somebody like, I'm not crying a river for Roger Stone and how he was treated at all. Don't mistake me here. But there is a big difference between the way somebody like Roger Stone is treated and the way somebody like Eric Garner or myself or some of the millions and millions of people that have had interactions with police officers in this country. So the right crying foul over, the treatment of Roger Stone. And by the way, Roger Stone said they treated him very fairly himself. They said they were very courteous and et cetera, et cetera. So, and you can, look it up for yourself. Don't take my word for it. But I think the fact that, we have people like Philando Castile, who wasn't even given a chance to give his ID to a police officer. And we got somebody like, Roger Stone, who was taken into custody by a few police officers. I think there's a big disparity, and I think this puts a big shining light. And where were you fucking piece of shit, worthless human being, Lindsey Graham, when those people were getting fucking killed? Where were you calling for, justice and the way that people were treated when that type of shit was happening? Why did it take Roger Stone for you to be up in arms the way that you are right now, calling for investigations? Where were you, Lindsey Graham? That's my point. That was my other stinko of the week. We need to quickly go through our Sweetos of the week. Breakman, do you have a Sweeto?
It's not the polar vortex anymore. It's warming up this weekend. We're getting spring-like weather next week.
Oh, nice. Sweet. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, you guys needed that relief, man. I mean...
Yeah, but I think this is only going to be... it's a Sweeto now, but I think in a couple weeks it's going to be cold again.
Yeah.
Because it's February. It's not going to stay this long.
Yeah. March is our snowiest month here, so I'm preparing for that, man. But yeah, I'm with you, man. That's a good relief from... the polar vortex that you guys were experiencing. I don't know how we avoided it, to be honest with you guys, but we got lucky. But all right, Eric, your Sweeto of the week. Eric, do we still have you? I guess.
I went on mute. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
You're tired of listening to us.
My Sweeto is the wonderful gift of otters being otters.
Oh man, otters are so cool, man. I love otters. They're really, really cool.
Oh wait, that's an old link. Hold on, let me fix that.
All right, you got another link so I can show the chat.
But that's also a Sweeto. You can check that out.
All right.
But hold on. Oh, I had it. There we go. I'll put the link in chat, but maybe you could play it for us.
What is it?
It's a Facebook video.
Okay, I'll do that right now. Let me see if I can get it. It's gonna be my not my Facebook account, but that doesn't matter. Hang on 1 second. I will put it in chat for everybody to see as soon as this thing cooperates with me, which of course it never does.
Why would it?
Hold on, I think I got it here.
Broke.
What's that?
Things be broke.
Yeah, things do be broke, but here is the otters playing and having fun. Dude, I mean, of all the animals in the world, I mean, otters are some of the ones that can give you the biggest smile if you just, even if you don't like animals, if you see a video like this of...
I can actually see it, but oh well.
Yeah, well, you've probably seen it.
Oh, there we go. Sorta. It's going a little bit.
Yeah,
my videos. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it's a tiny video of just... I mean, otters are cool, man. They're just cool... Yeah, it's kind of slow. How dare you? How dare you, Breakman?
It's probably loading the page.
There it goes. It's starting to run now. That's much better.
Yeah.
Better. It wasn't...
Yeah, otters are cool, man. They're really cool. They're amongst the cutest animals on the planet, and I've never heard any real bad things about otters, so that's really cool. I do not have a Sweeto this week. I was gonna... My
other Sweeto
is... you have another one. Okay.
Guillermo del Toro is doing Scary Movies in the Dark.
Yes, I heard about
Scary
this.
Stories to Tell in the Dark.
I heard about this a few weeks ago, Eric, and Guillermo del Toro is one of my favorite directors ever. if not my favorite director ever.
Some pretty fucked up stories.
Oh, there's, I mean, some of the stuff that comes out of Guillermo del Toro's mind is crazy, man. If you guys ever get a chance to see Devil's Backbone, it's a Spanish movie, like from Spain, but it is a fantastic movie. It's uber eerie, and it has a fairly good message in it. Pan's Labyrinth is another great movie of his. For the superhero fans out there, Blade 2 was directed by Guillermo del Toro, and it's probably my favorite of the bunch there. Guillermo del Toro is a great director. He directed Pacific Rim, which is not the greatest movie in the world, but still, I mean, you can see the creative mind of Guillermo at work there. He's a great director. Kronos is another one.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Yeah. Dungeon said, Kronos is good, man. You got to check that one out. Dungeon says, I really want Guillermo del Toro's take on Mountains of Madness to come to screens. Is that the H.P. Lovecraft deal, Dungeon? I'm not familiar with that. Maybe you can fill me in on that. But trust me, if it has to do with horror and Guillermo del Toro, I'm in, man, because he's super good. But all right, I was gonna do a free for all on. We were gonna have I called it a frank discussion on religion in schools because there are certain states that are considering offering Bible-based classes in school, which I think is disastrous. And I know that's
kind of the part of the wedge strategy.
Yeah.
If you were gonna offer all religions, that'd be one thing, but when you're making it all about one religion, like, that's wrong.
But I kind of disagree with it.
But I understand, like, wanting to teach, like, the theology of religions, but you can't just do one in a public school.
Let's keep this discussion for next week, guys.
Or they treat it as a literature course, which, is still bullshit.
You can't treat it as a history course.
No.
And that's what they want to do.
Yeah,
basically.
well, let's keep this discussion for next week, because there's a lot of good points that we all, obviously we touched on a few right here, but yeah.
But again, the same problem shows up. It's like you only want to do the Christian Bible, and you don't want to do the Torah, you don't want to do the Quran, you don't want to do any Buddhist text.
See, this is the problem.
See, and that's what I'm saying, is if you're going to do one, you have to do the other ones.
I actually think...
And it can't be like a history lesson, it needs to be like
I said,
teach the theology of it. And,
even if it was just taught as a literature class, like, you'd still run into the same problem I just listed.
There's inherent problem with all of it, all right? It's nice to say, let's do...
the underlying intentions of why they're doing this.
Yeah,
right. We're not disagreeing with that at all.
Right.
They do not have good intentions. They do not have fair intentions with this.
Yeah, let's table this till next week.
But I'm saying if teaching religion as a course, like, it makes sense even if you are, say, as an atheist, it makes sense to take a course like that. Then that way, as an atheist, you know exactly what somebody's curriculum.
Let's talk about this next week, because
they absolutely do that stuff in college.
We could literally talk for hours on this subject, and I have before. So let's table this for next week, and let's save some time for it. Hopefully, we won't have a huge news week next week as well, and we can delve into it further, because I'm sure you'll be surprised to hear what most of us have to say on the show. I mean, Breakman, you brought out a point that on paper seems okay, but there's an inherent issue that I actually have as an atheist with it. But we'll talk about it next week for sure, and it'll be good... Yeah, we're teasing for next week. So if you want to get in on that discussion, join us in chat every Friday, 7 Eastern Time, and we'd love to have you. Dungeon says that it was Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos when it comes to Mountains of Madness. I knew I heard that before, Dungeon. I didn't want to sound stupid when I said it, but I'm glad I hit the nail on the head with that one. Anything to do with Cthulhu is badass. That's why I love Bloodborne so much. But all right.
Where's Bloodborne 2?
I know. We really need a Bloodborne 2, man. I'm
gonna get Sekiro in 2 months to get my ROM fixed, but it's not gonna be like Dark Souls. It's gonna be different.
It is, but that's fine. I'm glad that they're doing that. All right, let's get into our plugs. Breakman, plugs, please.
You can follow me at Break_man and at RPGrinders on Twitter.
All right, Eric, your plugs.
I I'm gonna plug my latest review. I wanted to get 2 other reviews written this week, but I was like running around or tired like most of the time. But I only got 1 out, and that's the review for Warriors of Orochi 4 for the Switch on TotallyGN.com. Otherwise, you can find other reviews I've written places like BostonBastardBrigade.com and VogNetwork.com and HonestGamers.com. And if you like what I've written about anything there, or those other places, consider going to my Patreon, which is listed in my Twitter account, which is EricRPG, and offering even so much as $1.
Yeah, that would be definitely helpful for Eric. I hope people really read those reviews and support you, man, because you do a fine job with that. Anything else, Eric?
Yeah, I mean, my Patreon description says I also do videos, but I kind of tabled that. I haven't figured out what I want to do with my YouTube channel.
I like your snack reviews, man. Your snack reviews are good.
Because fuck YouTube for demonetizing me and burying me because I'm not a big person.
Yeah, well, let's work on that, man. I mean, look, RPGrinders has 8 fucking subscribers, man. Like, we lost a subscriber, which I don't know how the fuck you lose a subscriber out of 9 people. But if you haven't subscribed to us, subscribe to us on YouTube. It would definitely help us out, and Twitch.
I really want to know now, like, what happened.
I don't know, man. I don't know what I said.
Mystery.
It had to have been me, man. It's always me that pisses people off. Always. In real life and in RP Grinder life, man, I always seem to piss people off. But whatever. I'm not going to change who I am. I am who I am. Like Popeye. All right. Anything else, Eric?
Stay safe in the polar vortex.
Yeah, definitely stay warm. I think we got another night of that. So, get some hot chocolate or something. Keep yourself warm, man. Stay out of the cold. I don't know what else to say or do. I wished, we had like some type of temporary housing out east to help y'all, but that's not the way this country works. So, stay safe and, if you can afford it, get a good cup of coffee, something warm in your belly, and hopefully you can ride it out. The homeless people out there, I feel so bad for because there's nothing you can really do, and hopefully you find a good place to hole up and stay warm, My plugs are as follows. Thanks everybody in chat. I want to thank another TV viewer, Apricot Droop Fruit. Love saying that name. Cogwhistle was in there. I didn't see you sneak in there. Cogwhistle. Commander Roots in there. Feel the Bernie 18 was in there and next to me. Hi Feel the Bernie. How you doing?
Hi.
Hosts _ giveaway. Wyland was in there. Good friend Wyland. Positivity Bot was in there. Dungeon was in there. Thanks for joining us. Good friend Dungeon Buster. And Skinny Seahorse. I don't think I forgot anybody else. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel. If you want to support us further, please, and you're listening on the archives, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do this every week, so you'll get 1 show a week. We do not monetize anything, so we're not, like Eric said, we're not big or anything, even though we've been doing this for like 11, almost 12 years now. Jesus Christ. All right, and next week we'll have a good discussion on religion in schools and why that's either.
I'm almost certain that you inflate the number of years you've done the podcast every year.
No, I think it's 11 years, almost 11 and a half years, I think, if I remember correctly, Eric. I could be wrong, but, I never...
I've only been here for 9, so,
yeah.
and I think, by my count, it was like you've been going for a year up until I joined.
Yeah, been longer than that, Eric. But yeah, he says that like all matter of fact.
And again, I don't know how quite on and off your show actually was because I played catch up.
Yeah, Eric says that all nonchalantly. I've been here for only 9 years, just like Break's been here 7 years? Only 7 years. Doing this little old indie pod show. All right, that's about all we got time for this week. Hopefully, you guys will be back next week for more nonsense. Let's see. Yeah, 2 months. Breakman's been on the show. Son of a bitch. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Stay safe.
We're not all are old yet, though.
Yeah. Well, they've been
around for 15 years.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here here for a year.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate you joining this week. Stay safe this weekend. We want to see you back here next. Oh, you can follow me on Twitter. I forgot. Almost at Frank Branches and RPGrinders on all these systems. So if you want to join me and
Dungeonist said, "Rock on OLR."
Yeah, and stay warm. Exactly. All right. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe this weekend. We want to see you back here next week. Till then, we are out. I feel like I've been doing this show for like ever, like literally like 30 years or something, man.
Wait, if Breaksman Loki, he needs to bitch about Nintendo more.
Yeah, you need to bitch about Nintendo more, Eric. But yeah, I like OLR. All right, I never had any problems with them when we were over at All Games. So yeah, it's like Bobby Blackwolf. I don't know why people think that we've had this big beef with Bobby, but we never did. Like
they do.
Yeah,
I didn't. Who's they?
Certain people in certain rooms.
Have certain people from a certain website been spreading rumors?
Always, man. I never have to. I mean, I've dealt with all that shit for years. But, anyways, thanks everybody in the chat room. We really, really do appreciate y'all. Subscribe if you haven't already, sons of bitches. I know Dungeon's probably subscribed. Maybe he's one of the people that didn't. I should see if I could see who's subscribed. But, yeah, and get on Dungeon for not subscribing. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it. You guys rock. See you guys next week.
You could be like YouTube. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon and blah, blah. I don't like doing that every week.
I can see you just hovering over it like some nights. Like you're bored and you're just sitting there looking at it.
I don't even know.
Like somebody subscribe.
I don't even know where you would look to see that. Every once in a while, like when I go on YouTube, I see like how many subscribers, but that's about it. I don't pay too much attention. Wyland says later. Wyland. Appreciate it. All right, guys. See y'all later in chat. Bye. Bye. Bye.